If you want to guarantee your movie is controversial, all you have to do is put Superman in it. No matter how you choose to portray Superman, no matter what lens you view him through or what story you tell with him, it's always going to make someone upset because in their eyes, you got Superman wrong and did a disservice to everything that the character represents. And that last bit is key, because the biggest problem with adapting Superman across media is the fact that so much of the character of Superman is defined by what the character means to people. Superman is propped up as a symbol, an icon, the embodiment of truth and justice, the guardian angel for the whole world. So when it comes time to adapt the character into another medium, one of two things usually happens. Either they lean hard into the idea of Superman being above us, better than us, an ideal example for us to aspire to, or they assume you already think of Superman that way and give us a dark subversion of everything he's supposed to stand for. This sort of approach is problematic because it only really considers Superman to be a symbol instead of a character. It forgets that this character is supposed to be a person, choosing to focus on the abstract concepts and symbolism associated with the character and make movies about that instead. And the comics are no better. DC is constantly trying out new versions of Superman, trying to figure out the best way to present this character, but they end up struggling against the idea of Superman that they've cultivated in pop culture all this time, making people resistant to change and confused about what's even going on with the character, whose symbolism is often at odds with the constantly changing continuity of DC Comics. All of this went racing through my head as I watched the first season of My Hero Academia, a show that understands and exemplifies why superheroes are a piece of pop culture that both need and deserve to have stories told about them. In the world of My Hero Academia, the Superman role is filled by a hero named All Might. He's the most powerful hero around, overcoming all odds to save the day with a reassuring smile on his face. He's the symbol of justice and peace. He inspires hope in the people, and his mere existence is enough to make criminals and supervillains think twice about stepping too far out of line. His catchphrase is, "It's fine now. Why? Because I am here." And it's true. As long as All Might is here, innocent people can feel safe. But All Might has a secret. Several, actually, but the one we're going to focus on is his physical condition. See, a long time ago, All Might was nearly fatally wounded in battle. He lost some of his internal organs, and it took multiple surgeries to save his life. The whole ordeal left him emaciated and weak. He can still muster the strength to bulk up to his normal form and do hero work for a few hours a day, but his time limit grows shorter and shorter the more he pushes himself. But it's important that he keep going, not just because of his own desire to do good and help people, but because of what he's come to represent. If All Might were to disappear, or worse, if it were to become known that he's been so severely weakened and limited, the bad guys would come out in droves, armed with the confidence that they no longer had anything to fear from the most powerful force for good in the world. The resulting chaos would swallow up countless innocent people who no longer have a champion to turn to in their time of need, who can make them believe that it'll all be okay. So, All Might takes a job at a school for young heroes, which gives him a good excuse not to be seen in public very often, while also allowing him to help train the next generation of heroes and focus on cultivating his own successor. Even still, he can't resist the call to action whenever someone needs help, so he keeps pushing himself, straining against his limits every single day to save as many lives as he can, to teach his students as best he can, never willing to give an inch when there's something he knows he must do, yet desperately trying to avoid blowing his cover along the way. Nobody can know how limited he is, not even his students. Even when the class is ambushed by a villain powerful enough to kill All Might in his prime, he stands his ground and gives it everything he has. And when that isn't enough, he gives it more than he has. Because if he loses the fight, the children die. And if he wins the fight, but succumbs to fatigue and his secret gets out, the symbol that is All Might will be shattered forever and the world will pay the price. There's literally no other choice but to win the fight by doing something impossible, so that's what All Might does. He uses more than 100% of his power. He defeats a villain that should be impossible for him to overcome at this point in his life. Because that's what a superhero does. That's what a superhero needs to be. These characters, these heroes, they're here to be inspirational. Not because they're godlike or idealized, but because of the ideals they strive for despite being flawed and limited. When you have something you stand for, someone to protect, you do your best and then figure out how to do more. Or as All Might himself puts it, you go beyond, plus ultra. The key to making a superhero inspirational is remembering that at their core, they're just as flawed and broken as the people they want to protect, and no amount of power will ever take that away. What makes them heroic is what they choose to do despite their limits. Superman isn't inspirational because he's a Christ-like figure of unfathomable power who always knows just what to do to save the day. He's inspirational because he's just some farm boy who was raised to believe that you should help others because you can. And despite having the power to do literally anything he wants, he chooses to live for others, to be a symbol and a helping hand no matter where you are or what you need. Because a hero is just a person, even when they're the symbol of justice and peace, and an ideal for the world to aspire to. All Might's story works because it fully recognizes what a Superman-like character means to the world, and then focuses on what it would mean for that hero, that person, to live in a world that needs him that much. All Might is a testament to what you can do if you take a purely character-driven approach to Superman, without letting idealism get in the way. So you can keep your savior fantasies and your dark subversions, because honestly, those are the lazy way to write Superman. They're the easy way out. They presume that he has to be black or white, when really a hero is gray. Even the best of them. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. How do you feel about Superman equivalent characters showing up in anime? And what exactly does Superman mean to you personally? Tell me about it in the comments below. And be sure to share this video with anyone who you think might have something to say on the matter. Thanks again, you guys, and I will talk to you again soon.